Afternoon. This is the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. America's Heroes Group Roundtable honoring Black History Community Outreach. February is African American and American Heart Health Month. And of course, we are pleased to honor that here at February 22nd, 2020. I am Cliff Kelly, the host. Our executive producer, Glenda Smith, is on with me. Hi, how are you?
Hey, Cliff, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Our digital media producer, Manny Corazari.
The best.
Always a pleasure to have him.
Absolutely.
Right. And in recognition of the millennials and all, we are pleased to have on our live line Gerard Moore, who was the Deputy District Director for Congressman the Honorable Danny K. Davis of the 7th Congressional District, who is one of the best of anybody. And we're discussing millennials honoring our Black History community leaders. Mr. Moore, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Cliff.
Good.
I'm happy to be online with you. I hate that I couldn't be there in person. We was actually having a Black History program today at Major Adams Community Center. It was Congressman Davis in collaboration with Major Adams Community Center. We actually honored 9 trailblazers from the community. We honored James Major Adams himself. We honored Artesia Randolph. We honored Marion Stamps. We honored Mary Baldwin. We honored Earlene Lindsay. We honored Devera Beverly. We honored Nancy B. Jefferson. We honored Reverend Arthur D. Griffin. And we also honored Mamie Bone. It was a great program. I spoke. Got a little applause, so I guess I did well.
Gerard.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
but
sweetheart.
It was great today, and I want to commend Congressman Davis for having the vision and the sensitivity to honor these community leaders.
Well said and on point.
Absolutely. That is very important, Gerard. How many people were there? A lot of attendees?
Oh, man. So what happened, we actually reached out to each one of these awardees, each one of these families, and they had representation. So, where Major Adams Community Center is located is in the heart of Henry Horner Projects. So throughout the last couple of weeks, we knocked on doors and we invited people from Henry Horner community, also from where the Vera Beverly is from, by Obla Projects. We made sure that all of those families knew. So we had a nice turnout. We actually provided a light lunch for everyone, and it was ongoing, and it was going well.
Sounds great. What are the millennials doing? What do they really are really concerned about? You're one of the leaders of the group.
Well, what I would say is when we use the term millennial, I say young people.
Okay.
So what I would say is I think we just, like anybody else, want to provide a better world than the world that we was handed to. How do we get to that point? There's different ways. We definitely need to do something about mental health care in our communities. We have to do something about that. We have to do something about affordable housing in our community. So I would say affordable housing and mental health care is the top 2 issues of the day. So if, as a millennial, as a young person, I would say that mental health care and affordable housing is 2 things that we need to address. We also need to make sure that we address the fact that we need to provide quality education for students all over the state, all over the community, all over America. We need to make sure that we are preparing our children for tomorrow, and we have to do a great job doing that. We have to do a better job doing that, I should say.
Yeah.
What about jobs, Gerard, in terms of how do you see going forward how can community leaders and organizations and businesses try to help in giving or establishing more jobs? Because I think
Well, as it relates to jobs, what I would say, if we provide quality education, we provide a talented workforce,
Yes.
which would create companies to come in to invest in our communities. We have to, it's like as they mentioned, that Illinois population has been decreasing over the last 10 years. And part of the reason is people are leaving for jobs.
Right.
People are leaving for affordable housing. So if we create a talented workforce, we educate our children, we invest in our colleges and universities, it will create a better workforce, which would, in return, attract businesses to come into the state of Illinois.
Yes.
So we have to invest in our educational system so that we can attract other businesses to come in.
Well said.
Which would deal with the lack of jobs in the community.
Absolutely.
If someone wants to join us, we would certainly love you to do that. 312-374-8130 is the WVON call-in number. 312-374-8130. Gerard Moore, Deputy District Director for Congressman Danny K. Davis of the 7th Congressional District. You just mentioned something that everybody is looking at, Gerard. We are fearful of maybe losing a member, or even some people are talking about two, of Congress because, as you just mentioned, so many people leaving the state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? What's going on?
I think what I mentioned before about investing in our educational system and making sure that we provide the necessary resources that's needed for people to thrive and be successful in the state of Illinois, we will attract more people to come, and the people that's here will be willing to stay. And if we invest in our educational system, companies will come in and invest, and we will create jobs.
Right.
I think every person, no matter what your nationality or what part of town you live in, the number one thing you want to do is to hand off your children a better life than what was handed off to you. And if you don't see that happening, you're going to go to a place where you feel that that's best. So I think as community activists, as elected officials, and as people who have a heart for the community, we have to figure out a way to provide that type of situation so people can be more attracted to the state.
Well said, well said. Well, I, too, want to honor a person that you honored today on behalf of America's Heroes Group, the Honorable Congressman Danny K. Davis, 7th Congressional District.
Yes.
Congressman. He's also advisory board member to America's Heroes Group and has been since 2016. I would like to acknowledge that not only has he been here with us from the beginning, but he still is a part of us proactively. He takes meetings with us whenever we request. He makes phone calls whenever we request on behalf of his constituents in his area with a specification of homeless veteran because he understands that is a problem in his district.
Yeah.
Let me start with 2016 when we first got started. Not only did he say yes, he wanted to know how could he help. So the first thing he did in 2017, and this is memorialized, and I'm speaking regarding an article that I read in the Chicago Sun-Times. I didn't care about who they chose. I cared about the language that they used because I was very offended by the fact of what they said. Not how they said it, but what they said. In 2016, he joined us. In 2017, he took the time out. Now, these are not election years. I'm telling you what he did. In a non-election year, he drove out to O'Hare because we asked him, along with Richard Borkins, who was the commissioner at that time, to assist us in helping to bury a veteran who had no means. Not only did he do it, but he drove out and he was a part of the ceremony. That's memorialized because Channel 32, Fox, Channel 32 and Channel 5 was there. Okay, non-election year. The next thing he did, On times when we didn't have enough money to pay for operating expenses, Congressman Danny Davis, can you donate a check to America's Heroes Group? Well, yeah. And he did it. He did it. He didn't ask, can I get a commercial? He didn't ask, could I come on the show? These are non-election years. He did it. So because he did that back then, we're still sitting here right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How many meetings, at least 3, has he gone with us over to Jesse Brown VA? Because we're trying to work to figure out how do we combat this homelessness problem in his congressional district. So when I read something that says he's not doing this or he's not doing that, you don't know what the hell you're talking about if you're not talking about present times. Because I know for a fact from America's Heroes Group what he is doing and what he is still doing. He works very, very actively with us as an advisory board member. So he's not on the paper. You know how people like to put their names on stuff and don't really contribute. That's not him. That is not him. So I pay honor to him today, wholeheartedly, as a thank you, because he does when he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to answer the call every time we call. We're not the only company or organization, and we're not even in his congressional district. How many times have I come over and signed the sheet? You know that check part where it says in district or out? You know how many times I've seen checklists with out of his district? Because people understand if you come to him, if he can't help you directly, he's going to help you indirectly. What do I mean by that? He will pick up the phone and call and tell you who to talk to or who you can get some help from. He still helps when he doesn't have to. He's not obligated to help anyone outside of his congressional district, but he does it because why? Congressman Danny Davis is not a politician. He's an elected official. It's a difference between a politician and an elected official. A politician is a pop-up person that pops up because it's election time and let me get these bullet points on so I can get reelected or get elected. But an elected official understands the obligation and the commitment that he has made thereof to his constituents. And so this man has done this repeatedly on behalf of America's Heroes Group since 2016 and is still doing it. So I honor him today in Black History Month.
I agree with you. For example, how did I meet Congressman Davis? He's not in my family. It's just a guy that I met, right? So how did I meet him? Going to a meeting. So I actually, through a guy named Harry Reese, he brought me to a meeting. And Congressman Davis pretty much took me in as if I was his own son.
Yeah.
Taught me something different because in my mind, after my father was murdered, I wanted to go out and kill the guy that killed my father. But what he showed me was something different. He taught me something that I've been able to, that sustained me for the rest of my life, to this point in my life, I would say. So I commend him for being that type of person.
Absolutely.
And it's not just me.
Absolutely.
That he did that for. I've seen other people whose lives he's touched. So I want to honor Congressman Davis and Black History Month. It's good to be able to honor a person that you can see, touch, and feel.
Absolutely.
Because so many times we read about people and people tell you about individuals and their accomplishments and what they meant to society, but to actually know a person, it's like a young guy who always wanted to play basketball to have an opportunity to work under Michael Jordan. That's how I feel working under Congressman Davis.
All right now.
So I admire him and I appreciate all of his work and all of the sacrifice that he has made for our community as well.
And I feel the same way about Cliff. I feel the exact same way that you feel about.
We know that.
Yes, everybody knows that. Yeah, because
yes, I agree.
Yeah, because Cliff has touched lives, and I honor him separately than Congressman Danny Davis. I honor him because I honor Cliff in a way of being a godfather to me and being a protege to me and being a mentor to me and taking me under his wings, having patience with me, constructive guidance, because he's hard. He's hard to work with because I may want to do a show that he doesn't agree with. I have to prove to him before it's showtime why. And I have to prove it more than one kind of way. And even then, sometimes he doesn't want to do it. But once it gets going and all the angles connect, he says at the end, good show, baby. But on the way, he's raising hell. but he's being who he is, his true self. So, like Congressman Danny Davis, Cliff has touched so many lives around this country. Presidents,
Yes, he has.
vice presidents, governors, senators, congressmen, business leaders. You can name and keep naming, and you couldn't outname the lives of people he know and have made and poured himself into. So you and I are so blessed. We are so blessed because we have had the opportunity to follow. You see, before you become a leader, you have to be a follower, son. You have to be humble enough to follow the wisdom of others. And that age ain't old, sweetheart. That's wisdom. So so that age brings in that experience and that intelligence that you may not be having, that connects your next steps to help you understand how to be a better person. So we're blessed. You and I are truly blessed.
We're certainly pleased to have
Yeah.
him on. Yep. Our call-in number is 312-374-8130. If someone would like to add to what is being said, we would certainly love to hear from you.
Absolutely. It's Black History Month. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yes.
So, Gerard, what else do you want to say?
Well, I'm just first of all, I want to thank Cliff for an opportunity to be on his show. That's what I think is all about. When you have wisdom, when you have
Experience.
labored, experience, and all of that, and you giving up an opportunity for a young person to have a chance to give his thoughts and ideas as it relates to how he feel about history, how we feel about veterans. I think that's what it's all about, passing the knowledge down to other people, and I want to be like that when I grow up. When I grow up a little bit more, have an opportunity to pass that knowledge down that I have received from Congressman Davis and people like Cliff Kelly. So I definitely commend Cliff for serving in the military and putting his life on the line so that we can enjoy the freedoms and liberties that we seamlessly enjoy every day without a blink of an eye. Somebody had to put their life on the line for that. So I commend Cliff for doing that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your response to that.
Any activities and programs coming up that you want to talk about? Any of March activities?
We just had some great activity today. I know right now everybody is really focusing on election stuff, so that's going on. I say everybody get registered to vote. I think that's very important. And also the census. Make sure you get counted. Money, when you're not counted, is money that's being missed that can be put into the community. Please make sure you get counted.
Amen.
Make sure you get registered to vote, because there's some things that you don't like in your community. The only way you can change it is to vote. You can't, after March 17th, you can complain all you want to. You stuck with it either for the next 2 years or the next 4. So we need to make sure we register to vote, and we need to make sure that we get counted.
Do people understand that, Gerard? Do people understand how important that census is? Do you think? You're out there.
I don't think, I'm going to be honest, I don't really think they understand.
Why?
Because if they understood, everywhere you look, it'd be somebody saying, man, I got to get counted. But I think in the African-American community, unfortunately, we have so many problems that we face with right now that we can't see that close to $2,000 is going to be missing from the community a year from now. They worrying about how they're going to eat today. They worrying about right now. So, and that's almost $2,000 per person per year for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
They not seeing, they can't see that far. They got to worry about, am I going to make it back from school safe? When I walk to the store to go get some groceries for my family, am I going to get shot? So we have immediate issues and concerns that we are worried about, that we're not putting enough time and energy into trying to be counted, which is unfortunate. We still need to make sure that we put some energy in getting counted as well.
But Gerard, are you thinking that they're feeling disenfranchised because of the plight of the community right now in terms of the danger, that they really don't care if they get counted or not?
Well, I don't even think they understand really the importance of being counted. They don't understand how that relates to their day-to-day life. They don't
social
understand
service
that.
and all that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They don't know nothing about no census stuff. They see it, but they probably saying, what that got to do with me? I need $20 to get some lunch meat or some beans or some rice for my family right now.
Okay.
You
Which
see
makes
what I'm
sense,
saying?
what you're saying.
Because if they understood, they'd be racing to the nearest place to get counted.
Exactly.
If they understand that's almost $20,000 over the next 10 years that's being per person that's not being put into a community.
Right. That would absolutely represent them in their area.
Yes. So it's a lot of education that needs to be done as it relates to how things directly impact individuals' lives. We have to do a better job in educating people, not just once they get out of school, but even in the schools. We need to educate people about civic duties and things that they need to do just to make this democracy work. The only way a democracy works if people participate. Mm-hmm. In the last election, we had less than about 30% of the people come out and vote. Is that democracy?
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Is that democracy?
Right.
I think our democracy is threatened every time we get numbers at 30%.
Yeah.
So we have to do a better job to engage in people and educating the youngsters so they can understand the importance of voting. Because if we don't, we slowly fading away from this democracy that we fought so hard to get.
Do you think registration, Gerard, is going to be better? When I say registration, I'm speaking of to vote.
I couldn't hear you. Say that again, Cliff.
Do you think the registration to vote is going to improve? We know we just talked about the census and how important that is.
Well, I would say that we've been registering people to vote over the last 3 or 4 years trying to get it done. But even once they register, do they go out and vote? Think about it. In the state of Illinois, some of the coldest days of the year, election days, are held. We need to change the time when we go out and vote. Why we got to vote when it's cold outside where there's less participation? I think we should vote in the spring or in the summer when the weather is not as bad. But we go out and vote when it's cold. And it may be intentional because people in power want to stay in power. You know, and if we get a chance to engage people and get them excited about the political process, and if they don't got to go through a snowstorm to do it, maybe we'll get more voter participation. So it's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think we have been systematically oppressed. In order to change systematic oppression, we need systematic change. So, and I think that would be something that would be great to do, is to change the time when we vote.
And not just that, but elected officials like Congressman Danny Davis, who not only says it, but does it. See,
Exactly.
I think, Gerard, seriously, a lot of constituents around the world are feeling a little disenfranchised because they are hearing it at one time and then they don't see it. So we got a problem with some of our elected officials who are not doing what they're supposed to by their constituents. So you become aggravated and say, what's the point? Okay, what's the point? You understand how you can become disheartened like that?
Yes, the congressman always say power concedes nothing without a demand.
There you go.
And in a democracy, it got to come from the people.
That's right.
We have to figure out a way to excite the people, because if the people get excited enough, we can change the elected officials.
Absolutely.
We can change them. So we have to figure out a way to engage the people, to get them excited about the electoral process, because they should be the drivers of this democracy, not the elected officials.
I
Very
totally
good.
agree. I
Yep.
totally agree.
Okay.
And if they don't do what they don't say, but if they say something and don't do it, then guess what? Hello, like you said, 2, 4, 6, you're out. Just simple as that.
Well, Gerard, you have really given us some great information, and we certainly appreciate you, and just continue to do the wonderful things you're doing. Will you do that?
I definitely will. If not on, I mean, this is what I would say, Cliff. I appreciate this opportunity, man. I really do. Just to get an opportunity, just to give my opinion as it relates to how I feel that the community should be, and I appreciate that. And to your producer, she is off the chain. I really appreciate her. She's something else. She'll be at my office tomorrow if I said something wrong. So hopefully I did well.
Gerard, let me say this before you hang up. I am so proud of you, because I've been knowing you a long time. Your heart is right. Your energy is real. And you have set and been mentored by a man of integrity. So, honey, congratulations on your endorsement from the Chicago Tribune. Hello. Love
Thank
you.
you so much.
You
Take
welcome,
care.
sweetie pie.
So you
Yes, I'll
read
be able
the
tomorrow to
Tribune,
worry
huh?
you.
Alrighty.
So you read the Tribune?
Yeah, I do read the Tribune, baby.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much, and thank you again, Cliff, for the opportunity.
You're more than welcome, Gerard. Keep
See
it
you
up.
Monday.
Alrighty.